Bro, take your time. Man, your blood is boiling. Damian Mali, take your time. We just started this, bro. Chill, man. Chill, bro. Damn. He said what? Some of the smartest dummies, they can't even read the language of Egyptian mummy, but I fly and go to the moon and still can't find food for the starving stomach. You know, this is very deep revelation here. You know, if you look at in the early days, it has taken scientists a whole long stretch of years finding the language of the Egyptian mummies. What are the Egyptian mummies? Let's dip a little bit about Egyptian mummy and their language they were speaking. No, the Egyptian mummies, it was an act or a culture of the ancient Egyptians that they were using it to preserve bodies. Basically, they believe that if you die or if you leave this world, there is an afterlife, and afterlife your body has to remain intact. So they preserve these bodies, preserve the body by draining the moistures and the organs, the ones that they're supposed to take it away and the ones that they're supposed to preserve, like especially your brain takes long, so they can preserve this. They leave this organ, they remove the intestines, you know, and then the other things that can decay early. So when this process is done, that is what we call the Egyptian mummy. It were basically done by the pharaohs, you know, most of the high hierarchies, you know. Today it is still there. Today, people who can afford it, they can do it. So basically, that's the meaning of the Egyptian mummy. If you go deep a little bit into it, my brother revealed here, just the language of Egyptian mummy, the scientists finding it long time to read it, has a very deep historical meaning to it. We all know the Egyptian mummy's language, that for over 1,500 years, that even the early researchers, the modern era, did their own. The early modern too were doing their own. Somebody like Thomas Young was also making the research that took them like 200 years. That around in the 1822 was the time that they were able to find what we call the Rosetta Stone. So the Rosetta Stone was what was the clue that they were using, an artifact, some of the drawings that they were trying to make meaning out of it, and then trying to understand the language of the Egyptian mummy. So most of today, which there are a lot of technologies, a way that was provided to know the meaning of the language of the Egyptian mummy. There are a lot of technologies, a way that was provided to know the meaning of the language of the Egyptian mummy. What we call today like hieroglyphics. So the hieroglyphics are basically a way or a systematic way of reading the language of the Egyptian mummy using the Coptics, you know, sounds and the signs that they were using. Very deep revelation over here that our brother revealed. You know, you can see the quotes in this kind of words that our brother mentioned. If you look at the early man called the Antinatius Culture. Antinatius Culture was also a researcher, a scientist, a scholar, Egyptology. An Egyptologist that who trying to also make that kind of research to find what is the meaning of the language of the Egyptian mummy. He tried like 200 years and he couldn't find the meaning. He really tried it 200 years. You know, if you look at the 1799, he was making that research. In the 16th century, coming to even the 18th century, you can see the long stretch of only one language. Only one language these people were trying to make meaning out of it. Culture tried, Champollion tried, Thomas Young also tried, but today's modern era, they were able to make meaning of it. That's very deep lesson over here and deep wisdom that, you know, the generation is better for us to understand and know the Egyptian civilization. So basically what our brother was trying to say is that you can see that you, the scientists, have used a whole years upon years, stretch of years, finding the language of Egyptian mummies, but we can't find food for even the starving stomach. And he has a point. If you see how much money that is involved in this research, the archaeologists and then all these researchers, scholars, has to put in, and then if you look at how much, even stretching to how much money scientists and all these people spend in making all these bombs and all these things that they will take it to war and other stuff, and yet still they cannot even provide food to the starving stomach. People who cannot get even potable water to drink, people who are drinking from the mouth. It's a whole lot of things our brother is revealing here. He's not just talking. He revealed what was going on in the ancient days, that even today we are still making research about it. This is nature. You can see that there are certain things you need to leave it to the nature. It cannot be something that you're trying to explain and then making the meaning out of it, taking years and a lot of resources, something that we can use it to develop humanity, make development in humanity. A lot of people are starving to death. That can help them.